Let me take you back to the summer of 2023. The sun was shining, the barbecues were burning, and in bedrooms all over the world, streamers were angry. Fortnite Only Up generated a really powerful degree of emotions, like anger and despair. Yet, the ecstasy of completing the run was overwhelmingly satisfying. So how did such a novel idea take over the gaming community? And what does it say about your character if you didn't complete it? Ah yes, the enigma that is Fortnite. I've never been its biggest fan since its release in 2017. To me, the Battle Royale mode was the main driving force behind the game's popularity. It made up for the awkward gameplay and shoddy shooting mechanics. The building element of the game gave me depression because it felt impossible and was totally implausible. Once gamers worked out the mechanics in ridiculous ways, nobody else could compete. I tried the no-build Battle Royale mode, and I decided that Fortnite just isn't for me. I don't like the graphics, the gameplay, or the stupid characters that you can buy from the store. In my opinion, Fortnite impacted gaming in a negative way, not a positive one. I've complained about the Battle Pass system before, and now they're everywhere thanks to Fortnite popularizing the idea. Fortnite Only Up was a different experience entirely. The mechanics still aren't perfect, and there are plenty of bugs which add to your frustration, especially if you're high up. Yet, once you make it to the top, then all that agony is worth it. The phenomenon of Only Up took the world by storm, and faded away just as quickly. Gamers were compelled by the game's objective. All you had to do was climb to the top of the map and you'd win. Sounds easy, right? Don't be so naive. If you made a mistake, there weren't any checkpoints. You could be climbing on the last remaining obstacles, but one wrong move meant you'd likely fall all the way to the ground. It took professional gamers weeks to complete the original Only Up run, if they didn't give up, that is. I've had friends play this game who were determined to beat it, while others had a heart attack as soon as they looked up. Starting the game is like entering into a contract. Once you begin climbing the first few props, you've put yourself into an awkward situation. You may fall early, or you may fluke a good run. When you do inevitably fall though, what are you going to do? Give in to the rage and quit? Or grit your teeth and soldier on? I just couldn't let the game beat me. I have to see things through to the end, even if it means losing my sanity in the process. So that's what I did, and it was a fun trip down memory lane. There is just something about the anxiety-inducing jeopardy of falling off the course which makes for incredible drama. After a couple of months, no one was playing Only Up anymore, but it gave us some of the greatest laughs of our gaming lives. Climbing up onto the first few boxes unlocked some amazing memories, and I was reminded of some important advice I was given. The mantling system is really hit and miss, because every object is different. You have to really concentrate to make sure of your jump, but never double jump. The wise words of my friend who completed the game with me regurgitated in my brain. You have to trust your jump. He completed the run before me because I really struggled to overcome my fear of falling. Thankfully, that wasn't an issue this time around. Fortnite Only Up takes so long to complete because you have to learn the mechanics of the game first. Sometimes a small jump is necessary, while other times you have to sprint and jump to cover a longer distance. Navigating the tires is the most difficult aspect of the game and requires you to look down when you're landing. I never do the big skip because I've never successfully managed it. I have my own specific routes that I follow, but I'm sure everyone has their preference. Everyone travels at different speeds when they play this game. I prefer slow and steady so I can set myself up for each jump. I'm certainly not a speedrunner. Others feel like they need to move quickly to maintain momentum. Fortnite Only Up really just asks the question, can you do the right thing 1,000 times in a row? I couldn't, and I fell on the horrible rings before Season 5 that have defeated me so many times before. Driving the kart feels perilous, but many obstacles look more dangerous than they actually are. The game is quite forgiving at times. If you ever feel like you're not quite making a jump, just hold mantle and you'll be saved the majority of the time. You have to run around the volcano as quickly as possible by using the boost on the floor. If the boost runs out, you may fall into the lava, where you suffer an agonizing death, which results in you having to start the run again. The first time I used the teleporter on top of the boat, I pulled my parachute out instantly. This meant that I couldn't make it to the podium in the next season. Agony. This time, I didn't make that mistake, and I found myself face to face with my nemesis, the crane. This is the make or break moment of your Fortnite Only Up run. There is always the fear that I'm going to hit my head on the wire and fall to my demise if I jump too late. Pathetically, I jumped way too early and found myself hurtling back towards the ground I'd worked so hard to leave. This was a moment of despair for me. Once I've fallen a few times, I admit that I start getting frustrated and basic jumps become worryingly difficult. I didn't allow myself to wallow in my own self-pity for too long though, and I found my fate back in the willing hands of the evil crane. Timing the jump to perfection, I mantled my way onto the top of the wire, with my heart thudding like a kick drum. And breathe. The crane is truly your last hurdle to victory. After that, you just have to keep your composure, concentrate, and stay consistent. There was a new section which caught me off guard, but I completed it with ease. I jumped into the teleport, but was surprised by where I ended up. Usually, you find yourself in space. This time though, I was just in the sky. The meteors were still in the same place, but the sky was definitely blue. I honestly don't know if this was a glitch, or whether the creator had had a change of heart. Whatever the reason, the path was easier to see, and the course was conquered. I landed on the podium, and it was time to celebrate. So what made Fortnite Only Up so compelling? One of my friends asked me why there aren't any checkpoints in the game. I answered that I think the level of jeopardy is what creates so much excitement. I could actually hear my heart wheezing the first time I completed the course. Fortnite Only Up is brutal, and that's the way it was designed to be. If reaching the top was too easy, I don't believe the game would have had the impact it did. There is no better feeling than exploring new areas of the sky with the perfect character for the job. Indiana Jones. Playing this game with your friends was a special experience, but it also said a lot about the type of character each person is. Going from total agony and despair to sheer joy within moments is what makes this game so compelling, and I can't think of another multiplayer game that has tormented me emotionally as much as Fortnite Only Up did.